What do we have here? We have a Biomutant gameplay trailer along with a character customization trailer. Not only is this exciting news, it's a day after we got the May the 4th trailer. I think it's safe to say that Biomutant is really it's hitting that publicity button very hard. Very hard. Let's get right into the Biomutant gameplay trailer. We're going to see some actual gameplay and maybe talk here and there about what we see for some really good points.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another new gameplay today. I am Alex Stadnick, Gameinformer's largest video editor. Joined with me today, the incomparable Marcus Stewart.
Hello, I'm Gameinformer's most medium-sized editor.
That's cool.
Indeed he is. And then you know him, you love him. He's top 10% in the world in Warzone. Blake Hester.
What's up, Alex?
How you doing?
Right at the top,
This
excited
looks
to check out
smooth.
Biomutant.
So, yeah, we are looking at Biomutant today. The new open world RPG
variety
from
of
Experiment 101, correct?
Yes, Experiment
Weapon
101,
or,
published by THQ
striking
Nordic.
choices you could do.
And you actually got a chance to go hands-on
choose from.
with this, hands-off?
Hands off.
Okay. What'd you think?
I think it's cool. So everything we're seeing here is kind of some edited footage of the hands-off event that I got to see last week. And yeah, my
notice how
immediate,
fast
reaction
he
was,
is
wow,
able
this
to
looks really
switch
cool. It needs to
between
come out
his
already because I've been waiting
melee
for years
weapon
for
and
this
his
to
ranged
happen.
For
weapon.
real, this was announced in what, 2017?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So it's been
I
around for a
love
hot minute.
getting
been a
a
minute,
nice
yeah.
piece of loot here.
but I'm excited by what I'm seeing for sure.
Is there any specific like lineage to this developer, you know, or are they just like kind of a new double and a half A-ish studio? Do they come from anywhere else? Do we know anything about them?
I don't personally. It feels like I think this is their first project.
It's their first project.
As far as I know, don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
Sure.
But regardless, we do know it is a smaller team, like Blake said, a more of a double A developer. But it sounds like this has. Wait a minute, that's our logo.
So that was some
was our-
mid-game.
That was our NG.
This is definitely some mid-game gameplay, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to interrupt the talking, but that automaton, that cricket that's been so prominent as like this sidekick sort of character, I am almost fully sure that can be customized cosmetically. So that's always good to see. If you get tired of seeing the little grasshopper jumping around behind you, you can change it into some weird two-legged creature of sorts.
GT logo. We have to talk
I'll
something
start
about
drafting up a cease and desist.
Look at this character.
Yeah.
He looks
but
amazing.
you know, as the years went on, it sounds like this development process got more and more involved.
Yes,
and the scope
things to
got bigger.
do.
And did they talk about that at all with you, Marcus?
Yeah, or at least they kind of went through just a walkthrough of like
Look at this,
different
collect
systems
one
and
or
how big
two
the
of
world
certain
is. So
items,
as we're
not
kind of seeing here, we're kind
35.
of slowing down. We're talking to this weird badger-looking guy, and they broke down like how the world is divided into like 7 different biomes. As you can kind of see
Look
here,
at
we
how
got this
good
nice
this
little
looks.
panoramic shot of the world. We got to look at the combat. We got some story stuff,
There we go.
which is probably the element that is like probably been showed the least, is the narrative stuff.
Yeah.
And it's basically set in this post-apocalyptic world where it's like this tree of life that kind of, you know,
I'm starting
as
to
the name
think you can
implies,
only
gives life
hold
to
that
everything, but it's
glider
dying because this oil
like this. They
has
might have made a
seeped into the
design
roots,
change.
and so you're kind of trying to save
Just
the tree
probably to
from,
like suit
from
all the
withering
different
away, as
cosmetics
well
you
as
can
getting rid
wear.
of these like world eaters that are attacking the tree. But on top of that, the game has like a tribe system where there's 6 different tribes that you can ally
I
yourself
love
with.
seeing the
And
damage you
depending
do
on
per
how
hit.
you interact with them, it
engaging.
can
Ooh,
like the story can go different
Man,
ways.
this
It's
looks
not unlike
polished.
Fallout New Vegas, at least.
Oh, interesting.
What it
wow,
sounds
this
like,
looks
and that
smooth.
kind of
How
encourages
this thing
multiple
is
playthroughs. I'm
moving.
like, I'm going to team up with this tribe and see where that goes.
Much better than the early
As you can
gameplay.
see, there's a bunch of different vehicles that you can command, which is also one of the big takeaways I have with this game. Like you saw the glider earlier. There's a mech suit here that you can find. There's like
This is awesome.
animal mounts that you can get. There's that boat that you saw earlier. There's no shortage of ways of getting around in this game.
That's amazing. And judging from the combat here, it looks super fluid. The way you switch between, swords and your physical weapons and
I
your
said
guns
it.
too.
I already said it.
It looks great.
It looks
and,
amazing.
The style of it is
Look at how he just
interesting to me.
leaps forward
I'm
into
just so
combat
curious on
with
how it
melee
actually
through his
feels.
melee weapon.
When there's a big war going on somewhere in the universe, that always reflects on the market.
to play it.
Got hit with a nice ad there. We're back.
So, and then we don't know that yet, but I'm
Ooh.
really excited about that.
Just being able
Yeah,
to
like
whip
the
out a
combat's
weapon.
like heavily based in martial arts, so it's got like, a full
ranged
combo
weapon. I'm a
system,
big
and
fan
then
of
your
having a
weapons
gun,
also
so-
have combos too. You craft your weapons from like different parts, so like they can have different properties, including like elemental stuff like fire and ice. And what's really cool is that you can create up to 5 different loadouts, which includes your like armor sets
Ooh.
as well, and you can swap between all 5 of them on the fly at any time.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So it saves a lot of time going into menus and stuff. And
Yeah,
here's a
that's
cool little
awesome.
part where, in addition to
I
the
love
giant
this
world,
character
there's
look.
an entire
It's the
underground
May 4th
area as
girl.
well, like the sewer network that you can explore.
Interesting.
You see him walking around here, and as you saw earlier, there's a bunch of different objectives in the world.
Look at that blade.
They emphasize
Oof, that
talking
thing
to
is
NPCs
sick.
is important because not only will it give you missions, but they'll point you towards like kind of hidden entrances to like dungeons and
It's
caves
exciting
and
to
rewards
pick
and
up a
stuff.
freaking light blue
And also, you just
roll.
want to talk to them because they're just weird and interesting.
Yeah.
And there's also a system called Aura, which is basically a morality system where
I love armor.
they stress it's like not quite good and evil. It's more like light and dark.
Hold on, I want to go back. What rarity? That had a gold shine behind it. What rarity was this leather armor? Rare. Okay. I wonder why. Seems a little bit basic to me, but might be good.
They stress it's like not quite good and evil. It's more like light and dark. In that,
Cool
there's a bunch of
helmet
different
or a
choices you'll make
face
through the
mask on
game.
this
The
guy's
tribe
sick,
stuff
and it
kind of
looks
plays into
so
that in terms of how you
fluid.
interact with people. And
Oh
then
yeah.
if you talk to characters
Legendary
that
rarity.
have a similar aura,
What
your
makes it
interaction with them
legendary?
will
I
be
just
easier.
wonder.
And the
He's
opposite
threw
is
it
true
right
if
on.
you have someone that has conflicting
That's
aura.
goofy.
You can still deal with them, but it'll be just different.
For sure. So
It's
did
one of
you-
those
I know you
games where
said your
They might have a
choices
helmet
kind
off,
of, change
helmet
the game in certain
never
ways.
showing
Are there
option just
multiple
to see
endings
your
to this,
cool
have they said?
character all the time.
Yeah, so they said there's 2 major endings for the main story, but the tribe stuff kind of has its own kind of meta narrative that can conclude in a bunch of different ways depending on like just how you go about dealing with the different tribes.
Okay.
But yeah, the main story has 2 different endings.
I like
Okay. Cool.
the slight.
it.
So you saw that little grasshopper thing?
Oh.
We saw it a little earlier. That's
He's gonna get right into the grasshopper, I'm sure, and the varying cosmetics, but to be able to just the slight puzzle features in the games. I'm hoping that this game does have some more of these puzzle features that are just make crawling through a dungeon all the less repetitive. Not to say that it will be, but it's just furthering that sense of uniqueness and make sure every dungeon is a little bit more interesting than the last. I don't know. I like to turn a knob over here and it opens up a door over there.
called an automaton, and you collect those throughout the game.
Oh,
And basically, they're like a little robot that you can send into areas that you can't access, and they'll find like rewards as well as like even quests
there we go.
for you. And so we just found a rare version of one there.
whoa.
So those are important to kind of keep in mind.
Cool.
Marcus, were you able to
Oh, there's
get
probably some sick automatons.
get an impression on whether or not this game is set in the CBFDCU, the Conquer's Bad Fur Day cinematic universe?
Look at
You know,
this.
I
It's so
sent some questions to them.
fluid.
I did not include that one, but I think I can get
Okay.
them on the horn confirmed because I could see
Sure.
that. It almost reminds me actually of like a scrappier Ratchet and Clank in a way too.
Sure, yeah.
The
I
wacky
love
weapons
Ratchet.
that you have, and then of course the protagonist being this weird amalgamation
Yo,
of like a cat,
wait a
raccoon,
sec.
dog, whatever you want it
How
to be.
did this thing just get
The
to
fur
him like
looks
that?
great. I don't think we've called that out yet. There was a close-up of one of the player
This thing can
characters
swim, too. Look at
earlier in the
that.
footage,
You can-
and the fur is amazing. This game
This
looks
thing, this
fantastic.
beast
The
has
color
so much
palette is
power. You
great
can just
too.
tell,
Like,
like,
this
it just
looks,
throws you in the
I
air.
guess no shade absolutely whatsoever, but like I wasn't expecting to look this good. You know what I mean?
Me neither.
Sure.
I'm like, the lighting looks great. The particle effects. I'm
It
I'm
looks
here for
so good. I
I
wonder what
love
they're
the
playing
character
this on.
designs. Like everything in this game just looks so weird. Like look at this big guy here. He's like a big leopard looking guy.
it. Oh yeah.
I apologize
And
for
it
the
feels
skipping.
like there's a level of I know it's kind of
Look
cliche at this point
at
in games, but it's
this.
like it feels like there's a level of
Oh.
customization and personalization where I feel like my character is going to look.
I
vastly
love the
different than,
bandana
like,
on this guy. It looks like
either one of your
Rambo.
guys too.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
as they were
there's a
saying, I
bunch of,
mean,
like, when you
look
make
at this character.
you
This.
can change the
Sorry,
fur
it's,
patterns.
let me
and
let it time.
colors.
Give it some time
There's
to
a
buffer.
barber
real
in the
quick.
game you can go to that can alter that as well. Like you can be.
Yo,
can-
my computer is acting horrible. Don't buy a Mac unless it's the M1. This thing is slow as can be. The creature that he's fighting on the ground, you can see from the spots on its body, like this is a leopard. We've not seen a leopard enemy. The enemies that we're used to seeing from other previous gameplays back 2 years ago or so bland. And I was about to say, like, that's what we're getting. Like, I mean, that was sick. So this is light years better than what we've seen in the previous gameplays, especially on the side of very variety on the enemies they're fighting. Man, it's just so bright and colorful.
have like a neon purple looking dude if you want. And you can kind of see like the combat there. Just so Blake, this will speak to you. We'll see it in a second, but this game has
He is a
bullet
Kimbo.
time. I know you're a big
He is
Max Payne
dual wielding
3 guy.
melee
Oh
weapons. there.
wow, I do love Max. Excited
this
to
is-
check that out.
Yeah, this is basically Max Payne 4.
Max Payne.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time someone
See, but
makes
look-
it.
There it is.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was thinking earlier, this gets away from the bullet time aspect a little bit, but some of the combat, the melee combat, kind of looks like a slowed down Devil May Cry, like a later entry. Devil May Cry 5, I guess, is an apt comparison. Like, if you just
Look at how
slowed
he's-
that
he
combat
summons
down,
his-
you kind
his
of have what
things.
we're looking at here.
He just
did you
summoned the
get
bat.
a sense of how deep that
I
combat
love
was?
that.
Or is
Look
it
at
just
this
kind of
thing.
like hacking and slashing?
It depends on your weapon. So what I understand, the weapons all have different combos tied to them, and that
Whoa.
like it's both melee and guns. So
You can
it's almost like
can
depending on
loot
what
the
you
back of
decide
a
to make,
car.
because you can craft anything in the game. Like you'll see later that you can make weapons from different parts. Oh, so here's an important thing. So the biomes all have different kind of like environmental hazards to them. Like there's this radioactive zone that you can see, and it's kind of represented in all purple. There's like other areas
love
that are
the
kind of like
four-legged
neon green,
running.
so it's like a visual representation of like, oh,
great.
this zone isn't great. And you see the
Yeah.
little counter up in the thing rising.
Mm.
So like in the beginning of the game, you decide
taking
your
damage
resistance to certain
quickly.
elements, like there's
Quickly.
radioactivity, there's cold,
How did he just-
heat, and I think biohazards the last one.
Okay.
And depending on how high your resistance is, the longer you can last in that zone. And then, throughout the game, you'll get skill points that you can use to raise
What?
your resistances to certain areas, as well as you can collect like armor or even vehicles that can help you traverse
This
through an area.
This is
And
like
eventually you can achieve
advanced.
100% resistance, so you can explore an area penalty free. But for a lot of the game, you can last in areas for a certain amount of time, but definitely not. I almost said definitely not indefinitely, but that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
But you get the
Look
idea.
at the
so
muzzle
it's
types.
sort of a way of like soft gating of like you can't stay in this area for long, but like
You can go
the more
badass or
resistance
kinda
you get
crazy
to
with
it,
it.
you can.
For sure.
It's funny because like you'll start puking if you're in a radioactive zone for too long.
Oh yum.
Look
Love
at the
that.
musket
Love to see it.
on this guy.
And then
Oh
finally,
my gosh.
We got to taste a little something new that they hadn't announced yet.
Yeah, so they're gonna see in a little bit,
Whoa.
but there's a photo mode there.
I
We're
love
gonna see it a
that.
little shortly, but yeah, this game has a photo mode
Yay!
finally. And
I'm
you saw there
so
with the
happy
Ratchet and
about
Clank
that.
propeller backpack because again, this game is all
I've never
about
been excited
traversal
about
and
photo
letting
mode
you
more until
have
this
as
game.
many ways as possible of moving around. I like that little thing there, that little dash, that
Look
little
at that.
fire square there to
Yeah, the
back.
combat looks awesome.
Yeah.
Holy
Dude,
Jesus.
I know.
Yeah.
It looks
I was
so
not-
unique.
I'm so in on this game.
Yeah.
I like the weird onomatopoeia too, like the weird words that pop up. But like it's not like pow and biff. It's like weird stuff. Like one said like curse the beaver. It's all there. It said beetle stone. It's like I don't know what these words mean.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's the photo mode.
Yo,
Here. It's cool, man.
Oh yeah.
Every game should have a photo mode. It's fantastic.
yo, the thumbnails are gonna
That was
get
a pretty good
real.
look, but if you want a little bit more, we have another side video that shows off the character creator. So be sure to check that out. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
I kind of talked over them because I wanted to give you my input, and I hope that the audio levels aren't too screwed up. But I think they had a lot of good things to say, and I was amazed at how this game is looking. It's looking really crisp, really good, really colorful, and miles, light years again, better than all the previous gameplay that we've seen. I think that it's on track to do tremendous. Let's check out the character creation video from Gameinformer.
Hello, friends. Welcome to another quick look at Biomutant, the new open-world RPG from Experiment 101. I am joined with Marcus Stewart, the man. You know him, you love him. Hello, sir.
Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, he's a
Here
good
we
dude.
go.
We are looking at the character creator from Biomutant today, and I think it's a
Primal, Dumdon, Rex, Hyla, Fip, Murgle. You can pause the video at any point and read what they have to say. I'm just going to kind of watch as much as possible. If I pause here and there and you didn't want me to, I apologize, but let's continue.
special thing because of
Look
how
at that
unique
guy. He
these
looks
character
goofy
designs
with
can
the
get.
small head,
Marcus,
big
what do
body.
What do you know about this?
Well, you can see it here. This is the very beginning of the game. You're making your little critter
What?
there. If you want to pause for a second, Alex. you
Look
can
how
really take a look at
drastic
this
he
weirdo.
changes.
Good place right there. Look at him. It's a really good
My
spot.
God.
So as you can see here, this game is all about gene splicing. You're making your weird it's not like a cat dog thing, whatever
It
it's
looks
supposed to be.
so good.
But you're kind of
Can't get over it.
determining his
I'm
different
like, I
attributes.
sound like a
You
broken
can see
record
there
right
on the
now.
right side, vitality, strength, intellect, charisma, agility, and luck. And on the right side, you're using a slider to kind of pick where those points are going to be allocated. Those update in real time. But the coolest aspect is how your character kind of morphs as you're changing to give you a visual representation. So as
So
you can see there,
unique.
you'll
Look
get
at that.
skinnier
Just the
if you get
slight
agile. You get stronger,
differences.
you get big. My favorite is if you get more charismatic, you'll get like a big old smile. So you can see all the charisma just oozing out of him.
That's
Is that
funny.
that is? That's charisma coming out of him?
That's what charisma
He's got
looks
this
like.
crazy grin
Wow,
going
I
on.
get it now.
That is
I
the
was wondering what
face of,
charisma would do.
A charisma launched 1,000 ships.
It's going to be a constant battle for people picking their character because the part of them is going to say, "Oh, he looks so good," but the stats, are they where I want them to be? It's going to be funny. It's really going to be funny to see, like, all right, I really want to have a strong guy, but what if I don't like how the strong guy looks, or vice versa? I mean, I really hope the menu has like a list of all your characters. And you can just like choose which one. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're messing around with that, and as you can see in the beginning, you pick the breed that you start with, which also kind of reflects the 6 different tribes that are
Looks
in the
friendly.
game. And the breeds come with their kind of preset.
Oh, look, he
abilities,
picked
and
cold.
then
His
you kind
arm
of,
changed right to
mess around
cold.
with
He's
those
look
in
at.
this
Pay attention to
menu.
that hand.
As you can see here, kind of rewinding back a little bit, altering much like the Biomutant himself.
Correct. Get back to it.
I like seeing his head just balloon and shrink and his height go all over the place.
Look at the
It's
snout.
really- You
Vitality.
can feel all of this too, by the way. And from what I understand, I spoke to the devs. They said it's very painful for them.
Oh no. So this
Yeah,
is
that's
torture.
That's not. Yes, that's not true, by the way. So there you go. Your breed in the beginning there.
Wow.
So like I said, those reflect the 6 different tribes that are in the game. So you can see little descriptions underneath them. Some are like stronger than others. Like the Hyla
This game is gonna
kind of like a tanky. He can
bring
absorb
all
a
of
bit
our
more
inner
damage.
child
We got
out.
The small head Fip, the Murgle. That's what they went with.
For sure. I think I like Primal. I think it's kind of my favorite.
Let's look at Primal. Oh, okay. Look at them lips.
Oh yeah.
The lips.
I'm thinking
a
I'm
lip
going
man, what can I
Dumdon,
say?
but it's because I'm dumb.
Not, compared to the buck teeth of the Dumdon.
Rex.
Yeah, the
Ooh,
Rex kind of
Hyla.
baby panda.
Man.
Fip might be. I think Fip's gonna be the favorite on the internet. The small head, tiny eyes.
I get it. Yeah, I'm with it.
Calling it now. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Look
Alright,
at
so
that.
yeah,
He
what
looks
was this
funny.
as we refer to as Marcus.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Glad those business cards got to you guys.
It took a while.
The
Pandemic and all that.
drasticness of the changes.
So yeah, that's kind of a fun way to kind of see your character kind of change, and just your character's weird looking in general, so
Yeah.
it helps.
Now, what is this screen? What is
So your resistance. This plays a big part in exploration because if you want to pause it here, Alex, the game is divided into 7 biomes that are more hospitable than others. Some are really hot, some are really cold, some are radioactive, as you can see. And so your survival in those areas depends on how high your resistance is to them. So throughout the game, you'll gradually get more skill points and level your resistances up. But here in the beginning, you got to choose where you want to start. Like, do you want to start more heat resistant so that you can survive in those areas longer from the beginning? Do you want to maybe have it in the middle and give everyone kind of like, or every stat, a little bit of sprinkle of everything? You won't really know until you're in the game. But, and like I said, you can level up all these. You can hit 100% resistance in all of them, which will allow you to traverse those zones penalty free. But yeah, those are just, they just dictate how long you're going to survive. If you rock into this radioactive zone and start vomiting everywhere, are you going to pass out within minutes, or are you going to be able to walk in for maybe 10 minutes? So,
Which,
depends.
if you haven't seen any of the gameplay footage, is not an exaggeration. Literally, you will throw up everywhere if you get too sick from the radioactivity. So,
true to life.
True to life. And then we have what I'm sure people will spend more time in.
I like that.
You can customize the colors of your precious little boy.
Look at that. He's going.
Hey, those little patterns.
Yeah, like it's just a dial for how the patterns look.
Fox eyebrows.
What if there's one with like a really small hitbox that you can like get really lucky with?
But it really does feel like there is a level of choice in this game that I feel like my character is going to be really different from Marcus's and everyone else who plays it, which I really like. It makes that feel a little bit more personal,
Exactly.
That's a great point.
I might just be like completely uncreative and just make him look like Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank.
That would work too.
Look at it. It looks kind of like Ratchet, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can also see his right arm there, the little blue thing. That changes depending on what your resistance is kind of leaning towards too.
Sorry. I was yelling.
Sure.
There you go.
Oh, he looks sick
nice
with the
hot
white.
Yellow. If it was me, I'd probably make the bands red.
Yep.
See, the color is where you can get a bit
more of a
free going about. Okay, at least I like his color. Maybe
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm not a biggest fan of his.
That's my journey.
His physique, but his color is where you get your personal touch.
But now,
like they were saying,
the class system.
They made a smart choice on letting you go crazy with this.
Classes: Deadeye, Commando, Psy-Freak, Saboteur, and Sentinel.
And
each one again comes.
I
with
like
their
that
own,
guy for
advantages. You can see Saboteur is kind of a stealthier class. You can dual wield melee weapons. Deadeye they considered kind of the closest thing to kind of an all-round class. But this game encourages multiple playthroughs because of all the kind of from that gameplay. So
Sentinel?
You can try these all out with subsequent playthroughs. Psy-Freak up there is kind of the super powered one. You can throw like lightning balls and kind of has like increased energy regen. Sentinel is more of a tank. Commando is good if you want to focus more on guns than like melee combat. Great at long range damage.
I love the Commando.
And there's also a 6th class called the Mercenary.
I kind of want to go
pre-order bonus.
Okay, good to know.
Or Psy-Freak,
I would be curious to get my hands on
Magic
on
user.
all of them, frankly. But
yeah, I want to play all of
them. Marcus, when does this game come out?
Biomutant launches May 25th. It's coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
It's a beautiful thing. And then if people want to learn more about this exciting new game, where can they go?
Well, since you're already on YouTube, like Alex mentioned before, you can check out the larger video preview with us and Blake Hester, where we kind of take a tour of the combat and exploration in the game. It's a really fun look at the game. And also on Gameinformer.com, I wrote a Biomutant 20 questions and answers that is just a straight Q&A based on the hands-off preview that I watched, kind of filling in the final bit of gaps and any lingering questions you might have about the game. So think of it as kind of like one last primer before Biomutant comes out. If you're still having trouble grasping what the game is, that article should help clear the fog.
There's a lot of thinking done here. I mean,
Gameinformer.com.
Health and armor. You have for vitality, you got to pay attention to your health and armor off the bat. Could there be more stats that show up once you get into the game? I feel as though yes. As well as, so we go strength, there's melee damage. We don't know for sure if there's physical hand-to-hand combat. I think there is, but could be wrong. Maybe there's some brass knuckles of sorts, something that's just so close to melee, hands on hand, but it's not quite. There's intellect, power, key energy, energy regen. I guess that ties into your Psy-Freak abilities. Then you have your charisma, bartering skills. Will there be additions to the charisma stat once you get working with tribes and their opinions on you? Are you um, a good multi-sider? You join their side and their side. Your charisma can go. Maybe there's like a negative bar that'll show up or a positive bar. I don't know. I just have a feeling that these are the kind of off the jump stats, and there may be additional stats down the line that kind of appear as you increase them. I could be wrong. Regardless, there's a lot of things to think about. Agility, movement speed. That one's going to be interesting. How vital, or let me use a different word, how, important is movement speed to the gameplay? Do you want to have fast characters that can run around, or is it going to be helping with traversing just in general or for combat? Those are the kind of questions I think about. Personally, I ask, if there's cool mounts, why wouldn't I just skip agility and go for riding mounts all the time? But can you even ride mounts underground? I don't know. There's 1,000 questions. Luck, critical chance, loot chance. That's cool to see that as well. They didn't leave out luck. And at the bottom right, I noticed that there was the first four where it was like fire, ice, radioactive, and then biohazard or something. And then there's that fifth one on the right. And it seems as though maybe you can put it towards the middle, or you can focus on just one as they did. But that one on the right, I didn't see it as part of the dial. I'm interested to see what that means. But regardless,
Truly a beautiful thing. Marcus, thank you so much for your time. Viewers, thank you for joining us.
so we just finished watching all of the gameplay that is released on May 5th, as well as the character customization released on May 5th. Was not expecting to see this kind of video. For some reason, it just popped out of nowhere, and I'm like, really? We're getting gameplay? But regardless, nothing spoiled, nothing that I didn't want to see that I ended up seeing. More so things that I really was questioning and was able to see, like the having the little cricket guy being able to change and find new ones throughout the game. That's a question answered immediately. And that was a question that a lot of people had, like, what role does this guy play? He's actually a scout. He'll go scout areas for you. This video is more just my authentic reaction to two videos. I'm going to be away next week, so I won't have time to put together a real thorough video. So I decided to just do a nice reaction to the brand new gameplay. And so that's what you had here. I had not seen them before, and that was my true reaction to them. Thanks for stopping by to the channel. If you enjoyed, hit that like button. If you didn't enjoy, hit the dislike. If you really enjoyed, subscribe. And let me know in the comments, regardless of where you stand on that triforce of opinions. And let me know what you think in the comments. With that, I'm going to end the video.